Jesus explains the budding olive tree parable, a misunderstood prophecy. Narrated by Daniel. All scripture references are KJV. Now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when you see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. When I spoke to my disciples concerning my return, I spoke about many things, but I did not speak about the parable of the fig tree to imply that the Jews' return to Israel would be a sign of my soon return. I spoke about wars and rumors of wars, and added that the end is not yet. But I spoke nothing about the Jews returning to Israel as being a sign of my coming. I spoke about famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, and added that they were the beginnings of sorrows. But I spoke nothing about the Jews returning to Israel as being a sign of my coming. I spoke about Christians being persecuted by all nations for my name's sake, and I spoke of betrayal and of growing iniquity, and that the love of many would grow cold. But I spoke nothing about the Jews returning to Israel as being a sign of my coming. And I spoke about the gospel of the kingdom being preached in all the world to all nations, and said that then the end would come. But I spoke nothing about the Jews returning to Israel as being a sign of my coming. And then I said that when the generation that saw the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso reads, let him understand. I said that is when there would be great tribulation on earth, the likes of which the world has never seen before, no, nor would ever see again. A time of great trouble, worse than what happened to Jerusalem in 70 AD. A time of great trouble, worse than what is called the Holocaust. And a time of trouble, worse than all the wars and natural calamities combined. I then said that the generation who would see all these things, then this generation would be the generation who would see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. All these things have not happened yet. There has never been a generation yet that has seen all these things. I also spoke and warned that in the last days many false prophets and false teachers would arise and deceive many. Part of that deception is a doctrine concerning the parable of the fig tree. I said to learn the parable of the fig tree. I said that when its branch is tender and puts forth leaves, you would know that summer is near. I said that likewise, when the generation that would see all these things be fulfilled, they were to know that I would return during their generation. I said that the generation who would see the abomination spoken of by Daniel the prophet, then this generation would see what I referred to as the Great Tribulation, a time of great trouble, the likes of which has never been on earth before that time, no, nor ever shall be. A time of great trouble, worse than what happened to Jerusalem in 70 AD. A time of great trouble, worse than what is called the Holocaust. A time of great trouble, worse than all the wars and natural calamities combined. A time of trouble, even greater than the flood of Noah's day. Elsewhere in prophecy, it is revealed that the length of those days of great tribulation shall be for a time, times, and half a time, 3.5 years, or 42 months, or 1,260 days. And I said that immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And then I shall send my angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together my elect from the four winds, from the four directions on earth, and take them from earth's end of heaven to the far end of heaven, for the marriage supper of the Lamb and the judgment seat of Christ, while the vials of God's wrath shall be poured out upon earth. However, in all my words, I mentioned nothing to indicate that the parable of the fig tree had anything to do with the Jews returning to Israel. Beware of false teachers, whose doctrines are built on false interpretations, for they shall lead many astray. For free Endtime study videos, please visit the Jesus Explains channel on YouTube or the endtimesofficial.com website. There you will discover a wealth of study material to help you gain a clearer understanding of the sequence of events to happen from now to the rapture and beyond, through to eternity. God bless you, and please share the knowledge.